All right, welcome, everybody. We got Brian White, Future Ozza. We got Nick Gibbs, investing against the grain. What we're doing today is talking about FSD, or just generally autonomy, self-driving cars. Is it solved? And if it is, isn't it time the regulators approve it? It's all starting off with this great article written at the New York Times. The data on self-driving cars is clear. We have to change course. Dr. John Slotkin will go through what he's saying, but basically at the end of the day, he said that the data, he took a look at all of Waymo's data, and he said, if we were doing this in medicine as a study, a clinical trial, if we had seen the benefits like this right now, it's unethical for us to continue it. We must already now change our plans and let everybody have this situation now. Giving the placebo becomes unethical. Continuing with all the deaths with human drivers is unethical at this point. We'll cover that in shortly. But what are you guys' reaction to this concept that FSD solved? Step one, is it? And then if it is, or where we're at today, regulators must approve it at this point.
Well, I'm first, regulators must approve it. Hard agree. Supervised, hard agree. It is demonstrably safer. Is it solved? Needs more data. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. I know you went with the title FSD is solved, so I figured I'd go with the title for my side of the stream. FSD is not solved because there are still a number of cases that are trickier. And while I haven't had any of what I'd consider safety critical interventions, I have had Brian doesn't want to get a ticket interventions, and Brian would like to leave the roof of this parking garage before sunset interventions. I don't know how many loops it would have done before it decided to turn left instead of make another right. Maybe it thought it was some kind of a test track. I don't know. But those are interesting factors. And there's a couple little things left, like inconsequential things left, like please take the drive through instead of parking, that just haven't been addressed. They're not critical. But yeah. And in terms of placebos, last thing I'll say, I have to defend them. I take placebos every day because they have a 10% cure rate no matter what ails you.
Yeah.
It's a different matter.
Well, okay. When you say FSD solved, we're not debating that part. What we're saying is this: he's look at the Waymo data. The Waymo data is actually in live in 5 cities. It's going to expand to 5 more cities, and in those cities that it's actually live, it's already solved there. It's working. They're doing it. No matter what model they're doing, it's working there. That the data that they shared is already so overwhelmingly saving lives. You've got to approve robotaxi, even if it's geofenced, even if it's LiDAR based, whatever it is, in all the cities at this point. You've got to do that. I'm not saying that, you should be able to do robotaxis everywhere at this point. Yeah.
I would say where it operates, solved. Yeah.
Yes,
I would say that the places in which Tesla has rolled it out, it clearly works. I think I've had a chance to experience it. And in terms of how did it drive, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing an interview with Josh West. I didn't think twice about it, even though the driver's seat was empty. Passenger seat was occupied by a guy just kind of hanging out, watching, enjoying the free show, the exclusive live show of me and Josh talking. So
nice.
Lucky guy.
This article was written with his doctor, specifically just using Waymo data, because Waymo released their data. He does not have access to the Tesla data, but he's saying, yeah, if Tesla could give that to me, I would probably see something very similar. But that's just to be clear. This article is about the data that he saw from Waymo. What do you think, Nick?
So first of all, I have been labeling my streams wrong apparently this whole time, because every time we do, I don't know if you two are aware, but every time we do these streams, I call it the Tesla boys. So whether you guys know it or not, Herbert, you have the Cyber Bulls. For you guys, for the better part of a year, we've been the Tesla boys with a Z.
Okay.
So in case you guys didn't know, that's the name of this series, is Tesla Boys.
Okay.
So yeah. So let me be Switzerland here, or whatever middle ground country exists these days. I will concede to Herbert. I think robotaxis are solved with FSD, and I agree with Brian. me using FSD for my everyday drives is not solved because there are still those quirks, like Brian said. A parking garage. Still went into the other day. I was going perfect drive, 100%, until it goes into a parking spot that's clearly designated for a restaurant that it's not the restaurant I was going to. And it should know that, knows where we're going, and it's clearly marked there. Drive-throughs, same thing. But again, a robo-taxi wouldn't necessarily park at that restaurant's parking spot. It might pull in for a second, let me out, but then it's going to go. Has no need to go into a parking garage. And I don't think Waymos go through drive-throughs. So you could make that argument, I guess. That's fair. But I would say from a robo-taxi perspective, solved. From me using that every day,
you guys are missing the forest for the trees of what we're talking about here today. Wait, let me explain.
Objective.
No. What this guy's saying, he's a doctor. He's saying lives are at stake. People are dying, and here you guys are talking about, well, until it can, do the parking lot, until it can do.
All right.
The key thing is, and it's safety. Can it save lives?
Before this doctor ever wrote this guy has been screaming this at the top of his lung for the whole time. So I don't care what some random doctor says. I know, dude. I've been there for a year.
Yes, you have. That's why I thought you'd love this topic. But basically, let's go through what he wrote. So he goes, I recently got called to see a teenager ejected in a rollover car crash. The trauma team rushed him into surgery to stop major abdominal bleeding, blah, blah, blah. Well, you got this. This is happening every night. When that much energy enters the skull, no operation can turn it back. His death was a reminder of the staggering amount of suffering and loss of human life we accept from car accidents every single day. He goes through the data. Waymo recently released their data, nearly 100 million driverless miles in 4 American cities through June 2025. He spent weeks analyzing the data. The results were impressive. When compared to human drivers on the same roads, Waymo self-driving cars were involved in 91% fewer serious injury or worse crashes, 80% fewer crashes causing any injury, showed a 96% lower rate of injury causing crashes at intersections. So far, other autonomous vehicle companies don't report or report incomplete data, including Tesla. Waymo, by contrast, published everything I needed to analyze the data, crash statistics with miles driven. Thank you again to Waymo. Crashes per mile, the yellow is human drivers. The light blue there is Waymo. And you can see that serious injury or worse, it's a little bit better. But look at any injury and airbag, it's so huge. Dramatically lower crash rates than humans. Drivers. So he said this, right? It's basically at this point, and let's go in medical research, there's a practice of ending a study early when the results are too strikingly to ignore. We stop when there's unexpected harm. If there's unexpected harm, we stop early. But if it's overwhelming benefit, they also stop early because it's unethical to continue giving anyone a placebo. When an intervention works this clearly, you change what you do. And that's what he's calling for now. It's a public health imperative to quickly expand the adoption of autonomous vehicles. And that's, I think that's the point, right? At some point, there's enough data to show, yes, it works. And in these 4 cities where robotaxi is running, no matter whether they're using, remote drivers or not, you have something going on that's reducing massive deaths. We've got to approve this in each city.
So what I would say on that, there's a missing piece of data here, which is total incidents, as in non-injury ones, but that number is left out for a good reason, which is that Waymo reports every little ding and scratch. If it hits a curb, it will report it. You and I don't report if we hit a curb. That's not a thing that humans do. If there's no damage, there's no report. And a lot of times, even if there is damage, there's no report. If someone backs into a tree, they don't report it. Waymo would report it. So you get a lot of, I guess you could say false positives just by the nature of the way the reporting is done. I do applaud Waymo for releasing the depth of data that they have. I think that's an absolutely imperative. And I think it will not be too long before we look back and say, you remember when people did all the driving? Oh, that was the worst. And it is crazy to think about. It's like looking back at old movies and seeing people without seatbelts. Seatbelts didn't exist at the time. Hopefully we get past that.
Let me share this video here. I don't know what we're looking at. I mean, these are this is what Waymo is seeing and preventing. Yeah, there's a biker and it's stopped ahead of time. You got Tesla's doing the same thing. I mean, this is happening on a daily basis. But these autonomous cars are faster than humans, and they can prevent these prevention. You know, I mean, obviously we got humans able to avert crashes too, but human drivers they're causing 44,000 deaths per year. That's just what's happening
easily
right now
distracted.
in the United States.
We are not well suited to it. We do not have 360 vision. Our attention is easily distracted. There is tired comes into play, distracted, intoxicated, medical issues come into play. It's we're not well suited to the task.
Yeah, so I think we are at that point now. Now, Tesla has said that their driving is 7 times safer than human. I'm sure they're sharing that data with the regulators, and that's why they're getting approved as well. But this is happening. We're at this point. Recently, I was telling my wife, and that about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I'm very, very upset about this at this point. That if you see an article written by journalists saying that, whatever Tesla causes this accident or that accident, and they somehow reduce the progress of autonomous driving, they now have blood in their hands. I'm that livid about this, right? You, as an author, is causing delay in the adoption of autonomous vehicles. You have blood in your hands. You're causing more lengthening. How many years we're going to have 44,000 people dead when we're already at the path for reducing it significantly. So this kind of an article, this kind of a movement is something we all need to jump on. And I know, Nick, you've been saying this even, like you said, earlier this year, you already saw that it was already at that point. So we need to just share this info more.
Yeah, I mean, literally one of the leading causes of death just for toddlers in the world is car accidents. So something that is so just obvious that can be solved or dramatically reduced. And again, I just think it's a shame that we have to sit here this far along with how good FSD is alone before there becomes more of a awareness from a societal perspective about this. Like it's just baffling to me. It almost feels like it's like just imagine cost wasn't a factor, because I know every family has their own situations with cost, and a vehicle isn't exactly cheap, and FSD has costs. Okay, I get all that. But if you can afford it and you have kids, it just seems, or even knowing that there's other kids on the road, it just seems unconscionable not to have a Tesla with FSD. And I don't think it's so much that people are being negligent. I just don't think they know. They don't know. They don't understand how good it is, how far it's come, and how safe it is before it's quote unquote perfect. It's life-saving already. And it's tragic that it's my biggest gripe against Tesla and Elon. It's like, Elon, you can't sit there and complain about population decline. And on the other hand, one of the leading causes of death for toddlers is this, and you're not out there doing everything you can to market FSD, whether it's a Super Bowl commercial, whether it's an ad on the side of a building. We need to drive awareness to this. I think it's a humanitarian issue. I don't care about the stock. I don't care about that. I just really do think, and maybe it's because I'm a dad now, I care more about this, but it's a humanitarian issue to me.
I can agree with all of that. It's crazy to me to see that there's 2 problems I see. One is that people like to compare the worst driving of a machine to their best driving. They're not comparing averages. The average FSD mile is safer than the average human mile. I can't tell you how many times I've seen, like, my Uber driver completely zone out for a good minute while they're checking their phone or whatever it is they're doing. Guys, you have traveled a tremendous distance, a good half a mile in the city, and you weren't really there. You were kind of there. And the other problem is there's this, and I see it a lot, especially on social media, a very strong anti-science bias these days, where people don't trust experts, don't trust data, don't trust statistics. And it's infuriating because you get armchair experts who know better than the people who actually work in the field, better than the people who spent their whole careers. Well, of course, you're going to lie to me. It's your career. No, I'm going to tell you the truth because I know the truth, because it's my career. And it's just frustrating. It's like the people who say, and I mentioned this on a show with Herbert that's coming up. My neighbor said he was going to buy a Tesla and he didn't. Therefore, no one buys Tesla. That's one experience, my friend. You need to actually look at the data.
The frustrating part for me is like this notion that self-driving cars have to be 10 times safer than a human. I think as long as it's already as safe as a human, we should be supporting this, not slowing it down, because we recognize that this is a progressing, improving technology. If it can already get to this point, it's only going to continue and get better and better and better. Why would you stop it? Why would you slow it down? And I think part of the reason why Tesla has to be so careful about, why aren't we advertising it like crazy right now? Because of this scenario. If just one accident, could it truly slow everything down by a whole year or longer? Because it could take it's overwhelmingly. I think there was a article somebody wrote or something happened where a Whimo killed a dog, a puppy or something like that, or a cat or a dog, and then luckily that did not cause a wave or anything. But that was my daughter brought it up to me, and she said, "Oh, I heard that this self-driving car killed this pet." I'm like, it's sad, yes, but should we stop creating self-driving cars? How many
humans? Yeah, exactly.
Right. Animals will be saved, not just humans. And anyway, so, here you have a technology. You've proven that it's working. It's heading in the right direction. Once it's safer than a human, you should be approving this. And then eventually it becomes 10 times safer, 20 times safer, and eventually no accidents ever. But this is where we're headed. So if anybody today comes up and says, a regulator says, nope, it's still not ready. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But you cannot push back too much longer. This is it. We're here.
We have already seen 2 videos of Teslas not hitting deer. Deer are famously really good at darting. They bounce out into traffic like nobody's business. And I've seen people say, well, I would have reacted just as well. The stats don't back that up. They change direction on a dime and they're lightning fast. People hit deer. You can't predict where they're going to bounce to next. So it's, I don't know. I get frustrated seeing the pushback. I have offered absolutely everyone I've talked to a ride, and I would say well under 8 to 10% have accepted, but I'm doing what I can to get butts in seats. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So earlier this week, we saw that Europe, 3 countries in Europe, right? Was it France, Germany, and Italy, have agreed to let passengers get into an Tesla FSD passenger ride. And Tesla had to approve all the stupid rules that, the European rules have. They did it. You have to tell the user what's going to happen before it happens. The car's going to turn right. The car's going to do this. And it tells you the info. They did it. It's now happening. But regulators are putting all these regulations in the guise of being safety. The safety first. Are we not at this point yet that clearly at this point that these cars are doing better than humans at this point? I mean, when's the last time you've heard of a critical disengagement? I mean, sure, it still happens, but it's about numbers, right? It's about how often it happens. It's getting almost to the point where it's definitely already safer than a human at this point. So anyways, I'm glad that this happened in Europe because people are, news, French media reported on it. People are talking about it, showing viral videos of blowing everybody away. This thing is absolutely successful and it's working well. So more and more of that, and eventually we're going to get past this hump and we won't have to be discussing this anymore.
So I've got 2 videos coming up with Kees Roelandchamp from the Netherlands. And he's been pushing for this. He's been tracking it. He's been helping people understand where we're at in terms of regulatory approval. One thing he pointed out is the FSD in Europe is a different build than what we have in the US. And he said it is noticeably different. And I don't know how that works or what that means, but I think that's interesting.
Are you sure? Tunsa Sai, who's a Tesla autonomy AI engineer, he said that it's the same build and it's 14.1 point something. It's a 14
Maybe
series.
it's just the visualizations that are different
Yeah.
for regulatory reasons.
Right. Like they have to say things like it's not hands-free. And then they have to actually tell you how well you drove, how well the car drove at the end, something like that.
I'd love to see that. I am, by the way, gents, if you have 14, and I'd ask this in the comments as well, what is your percentage of miles driven? Mine is at 99. I don't think I can get over 99 without a road trip because for the sake of testing, I will have to disengage and place the car in funky situations that it wouldn't put itself in. And that's why I have more disengagements, is because I am stress testing. I am putting it in challenging situations that it wouldn't otherwise get itself into, just to see what it does. What are you guys at?
Mine's at, I mean, it says 100%. The only time I've taken over, like I said, was it parked into the, it's like street parking, and it's for this restaurant, and like I let it park, and I'm like, all right, let me back out, let me hit it again, and then it kept going and found a new spot. So, but it still says 100%.
And mine's at 80 something percent because it has significant navigation issues. Wednesday,
I don't have that.
I have it all the time. It's taking wrong roads. It's doing weird things.
What do you mean by that? It's taking wrong roads. Like, how do you like explain that to me?
Yeah. So on Wednesday, my family came over, visited. I picked them up from the airport, and I was showing them it's perfect. First of all, it's flawless. But then it was supposed to stay on the highway, and it took the exit ahead of it. And like, oh shoot, why did that do that? And so I had to stop and get it back in the highway.
But and then how do you know it's not doing that for a reason?
Well, I mean, that's
obviously, my question. Like, how do you know that it's not like, hey, there was a report of accident here earlier.
Yeah, I get back on it, and it was the right thing to stay on the highway. But another one it does is it goes into the parking lots, and it's going around and around. That kind of an issue. So
I don't have that either.
That was on Wednesday. The next day, I got the 14.2.1.
Oh, well, that's what I'm on.
They got that updated right away the next day, and then I had much, much less issues with navigation issues. It's all navigation issues, by the way. I've not had a single disengagement. I took it to Vancouver. I've been driving everywhere, and then, but for the passengers, they obviously were blown away. The car's driving you everywhere. But any little thing like that, oh, why did it do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next day, in the next several days, it's been flawless. And so now it's been, okay, they solved it. It was just like when that one day it was doing all this.
Brian, I want to answer your question more accurately then. When I say 100%, that's on 14.2.1.
Mm-hmm.
So just want to be accurate on that.
I see. So yeah, I've had situations where I choose to disengage. At Costco, it was going to look for a sensible parking spot when I saw one open up, and I'm like, oh no, I've never parked this close before, I'm taking it. And things like that. Those, I don't count those, and it still rounds to 99%. So it is that good. And in the video, I asked my kids, my passengers, how do you guys feel about it? And they're like, I don't even think about it anymore. Yeah. On version 11, we were all heads on a swivel because this is hairy.
But your response there, though, Brian, that's why I say Robotaxi solved. Us everyday drivers using it, it's this little minutia, But for a Robotaxi, you wouldn't care. It would be dropping you off at the front.
Yes, and I wouldn't care about it doing something that is ticketable if it's not me behind the wheel. It's not unsafe. It's just ticketable. I don't want a ticket. It did try to back up. I did have an intervention. It was trying to park in the dark in a parking lot, and it was going to rip my mirror off with the cart corral. It could see it on the screen. It was bright red. It was telling me not to do this, and it was still backing up. So I hit the brakes before losing a mirror. Hey, if it's not my car, I don't care. And if it's a taxi, then it wouldn't have been in a parking spot anyway.
Well, and if it was a Robotaxi, it wouldn't have mirrors. Hopefully,
it wouldn't. I don't know how I'd get out. But
let's talk about the regulation issues. So we know that in Europe, even Tesla and Elon has been pleading and saying, "Hey, everybody sign this, petition to encourage the government to approve regular FSD and robotaxis in Europe because they're taking their sweet time, and that's full of regulation issues. So that's one for sure we need to address. Lots of good movement this week in Sweden. They've approved. Was it Sweden? Everybody there can, 19 cars can be driven FSD everywhere, and then these 3 countries, as I mentioned. But in the U.S., the good news there is I'm not sure that regulation is going to impede the rollout of robotaxi. Thanks again to Waymo. They already are active in 4 cities. They've announced 5 cities. They just implemented Miami. They've got 5 more cities that they plan to activate by the end of 2026. That will be 10. And then they got 15 other cities that they've already announced that's going to be turned on sometime in 2027. So you're talking 15 plus 10, that's, 25 cities already approved it. That's, to me, it's like these guys have approved it. Then you prove that it works and there are no issues. It's going to be hard for any other city to say no. And there'll be many cities that will say yes after this. And you just get past this, early adopters to the next adopters. So I'm not concerned about regulation in the US at this point. Are you guys? Is there some concerns there?
I'm not concerned. I think, well, remember, in some states, it's already explicitly approved. In the others, it's tacitly approved. It's just that I wouldn't want to be Tesla or Waymo and roll out a network only for the state to come along a month later and say, no, we've got a bunch of rules that you didn't know existed because we just made them up. I would still wait to roll out to have explicit permission, but I cannot imagine a place other than Boston saying, no, you're not welcome. And the stats are the stats. Is it safer or not? It is safer. Please don't make the roads more dangerous just because you're a stick in the mud.
Yeah, I would say I'm not worried about it anymore, especially from a administration perspective. It seemed like there might have been some risk with the rift between Trump and Elon. Thought there might be some backlash there, but seeing that Jared Isaacman is going to get the nod to continue going forward, and it seems like there's at least amicable relationships between Trump and Elon. And I guess the only other worry is the NHTSA, what's his name? The transportation secretary?
Sean Duffy.
Sean Duffy. It seemed like he kind of might be have a little axe to grind with Elon because of Jared. So at first I was worried about Trump and Elon being an issue, and that seemed to be nothing. But now that Jared's there, I don't know if there's something there, if it's nothing, but I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. But it seems like he really wanted to maintain that under the DOT. I don't know. Is there something or nothing? I don't know, but I feel like we're good. Discuss.
Yeah, the regulation that Elon and specifically Tesla needs to overcome is this rule right now that a manufacturer can only make 2,500 of these robotaxi first designed vehicles. These are vehicles that don't have the side mirrors, the rear view mirror, these kind of a lot of things that you need to have for drivable cars. They say, okay, 2,500 cars, you don't need to worry about this. This is where Zoox is in. This is where Waymo's in. Of course, Whimo actually is a regular car. So Tesla can still roll out Model Ys, but they wouldn't be able to roll out a cybercab unless they put in steering wheels and pedals and all these things to accomplish that.
That's not my understanding. My understanding is it's driverless, regardless of controls. But it's not a law. It's a rule, and you can get a waiver. It doesn't take an act of Congress. It takes a swipe of a pen. A person at a desk can just sign a piece of paper saying, "Yep, approved." So it's not a big obstacle. And
wait, are you sure, Brian? I had heard that it needs to pass Congress to increase. There's a bill going through Congress right now to increase it to, let's say, 100, 200,000.
Sure.
But even then, it's not
that would
enough.
override it. That would override it. But there's no law that says there can only be 2,500. That's just a NHTSA guideline that's internal to the agency. No one voted on 2,500.
Okay.
But we could vote to set a cap that is other than 2,500. And then you get to the problem that Congress is full of old people who are out of touch. How many of them even drive themselves around on a regular basis? I don't know the answer. I would guess most, but these are people who are always lagging behind the technology, and thank goodness, because they're the ones in charge of making rules about it. So that's awesome.
I'm looking it up right now with Grok.
Okay.
To see what the actual answer is. I don't like it when we say I heard. It's like, well, we got Grok here. Like, why would we might as well just figure out the right answer.
I was telling Herbert on a show that I asked Grok to design for me a 5-bedroom rambler, and boy, did it get sillier and sillier with the designs. Hope you like 4 dining room tables, because it's not quite there yet.
So yeah,
I'll tell you what though. I was doing I still am, I guess, doing a coding project, and I was trying to use Grok to help me through a recursive loop issue I was having, and Grok just couldn't grok it, and I used Gemini. Gemini got it after about 15 minutes of trying to get figure it out. So I thought that was a very interesting little detail, because I don't use Gemini often. I was like, you know what? Let me just try a different tool. Everyone's been talking about Gemini 3. Like, let me test this out. And I mean, it still didn't like get it like one shot or anything. It was a little back and forth, but I probably spent like a solid like 2 to 3 hours with Grok just trying to like figure this out. Gemini, about 15 minutes, we were able to crack it. Yeah. Just interesting little anecdote.
They're leapfrogging each other. Another statement that this doctor said here, down below, 39,000 Americans. I was quoting 44,000 because I think that was a couple of years ago. 39,000 Americans died in crashes last year. More than homicide, plane crashes, and natural disasters combined. And then, like you said, Nick, the number 2 killer of children and young adults. The number 1 cause of spinal cord injury. We've accepted this as a price of mobility. We seem to be okay with it.
Another big accident factor beyond distraction, intoxication, and tiredness would be excessive speed. That's one that you always see in police reports. Excessive speed may have played a role in this injury or fatality, and FSD, a robotaxi won't do that. FSD can be encouraged to do that to a degree, but not anything too crazy. But excessive speed, I am less concerned with how quickly I get there if I can just look at the screen, see the time, and then get on a video call with whoever I'm meeting and say, look, I'm in traffic. Traffic's traffic. I can control what time I leave. I can't control what time I get there. I'll see you when I see you. And then just not stress out, not try and zip in and out of traffic going too fast, which you see too often.
Yeah. Can I read this to you guys?
Yes. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. You get everybody judge me. Leave comments below how bad I am at reading. So it says the key limitation is a cap of no more than 2,500 vehicles per manufacturer that can be exempted and sold in the U.S. in any 12-month period. This applies. So in other words, you could do 2,500 per 12 months. So I thought that was interesting. It then says this applies to exemptions granted under a subsection whatever of the statute, which are relevant for autonomous vehicle deployment. NHTSA has implemented this through regulation in the CFR 49, including recent updates to streamline the process for vehicles without traditional driver controls. For example, companies like Zoox and Tesla have sought or received exemptions under this framework, but they remain limited at 2,500 vehicles annually without further changes. To deploy more than 2,500 robotaxis or other exempt autonomous vehicles per year, Congress would need to pass legislation amending the statutory cap of CFR 49, as the limit is set by federal law and cannot be exceeded through NHTSA's administrative authority alone. NHTSA can grant exemptions up to the existing cap, but lacks the power to override or increase it without congressional action. Past legislation efforts, such as proposed bills to raise the cap to 100,000 vehicles, have not succeeded as of late 2025, leaving the 2,500 limit in place.
Wow. Okay. I quick apology to everyone. I was wrong about that for a long time. I have an idea on how to get the bill passed. Call it the Help Whimo Act.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, the interesting thing though is like Tesla has the ultimate loophole, right? This is not saying you can't have autonomous vehicles or robotaxi. It's saying vehicles, like you're saying, without side mirrors, whatever, specially made vehicles. You can put as many Model Ys out there as you want, is the way I read this.
Yes.
I didn't. I read that the mirrorless, wheelless, pedalless ones are a subset of the 2500, and that a robotaxi is just something that doesn't have a driver in it.
No.
You don't think so?
No. This is exemptions from, there's like 100 rules that you need to have for a car to be right out there for driverless. Like you need to have seatbelts, and seatbelt has to be plugged in the front passenger seat, the driver. Well, if there's no driver, do you still need that? These are like tiny little rules that they're exempting you because they know that you're trying to do a driverless car.
Yes. So it says
you can have as many Model Ys that are regular cars to be robotaxis anywhere you want, as many as you want. That's not going to be the issue.
It says this statute allows manufacturers to apply for temporary exemptions to deploy vehicles that do not comply with certain FMVSS, such as requirements for steering wheel, pedal, or mirrors, typically for innovative safety features or field evaluation. So it seems like CFR 49 subsection 30.11.3 is specifically for this innovative vehicle or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I think it's a nice little loophole that, and that's probably why Waymo's doing what they're doing too, right? Like
$2,500 a year.
Oh well,
Waymos are regular cars.
Oh, I see.
That's my point. That's my point. Yeah. So that they don't have to worry about that. But yeah,
now, I do want to address the people who despise change, the people who despise technology, the people. My brother is one of them. He's one of those people who says, great, if you want to do it, fine. I'm not excited about it, but I'll never do it. You can't make me, and anyone who tries to make me is crazy. And I
bet him? You put a bet on it?
No,
he will.
I thought really, really loud when I said, you're a terrible driver. You are the reason we need this. I do not trust you on the road. I trust teenagers driving more than I trust you. And I have found that to be kind of universally true. The people who most say, no, I'm in charge of my vehicle, I'm the best driver ever, are the worst. Those are the first people we need to get off the road.
You should make a bet with them. You should be like, hey, here's $500. I'll give it to you up front. But from now, if you ever use this technology, every year between now and then, you have to give me another $500 on top of that.
That would go great. I'm sure I would definitely see that money again.
That'd be a good bet, though. Yeah.
If it was enforceable.
$500 now. Later, you pay me. Yeah. You'll never get.
I don't remember giving you you giving me 500. Are you sure it was me? You son of my mom.
Oh, yeah, easy there.
Son of my mom.
What if Brian's mom just came into the frame out of nowhere? Like, what'd you say?
Yeah, it's
son of my mom.
It's our mom. I mean, I can say that.
Yeah.
Off track here, kinda. Maybe not. Okay, this is good.
That's just right on track.
I mean, this is what I'm here for.
In other words, Brian is saying, don't be a Luddite.
Absolutely. Hey, does it work or not? A family member, I mean, it's like a distant family member in the 80s was always saying, I will never wear seatbelts. I wish to be in an accident thrown clear. Yeah. That's through the windshield, right? Because that's not a thing. Thrown clear is not a thing. No, I won't wear it. And she wouldn't. She wouldn't wear a seatbelt. We can look up the stats, and I mean, it's straightforward.
Again, I'm not saying we should ban human drivers yet.
Nope.
Or do you think that will ever happen?
Ever? Not in the US, I don't think. I mean, in the US, we're real loosey-goosey with car rules. If you build a car in your garage, you can license it for operation on the road. There's no safety checks or anything. I mean, there's basic. Does it have brakes? Does it have, mirrors and blinkers? But there's no crash testing. You can do kind of anything.
I see. This is where like you'll lose me is if you tell people they can't do something. Like I don't like putting more and more restrictions on people. Like I like the idea of choice. Like I don't want to force people to do anything. I just don't inhibit the progress that's there. And I think that's the win-win. Let progress continue. And at the same time, look, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But we would wager that the benefits will seem overly compelling that you will eventually use it. But it's like, I don't think we should ban people from riding their horses. You want to ride your horse in town? Go for it. Like, this no problem.
Yeah, agreed with you.
I don't think you're going to take it everywhere. I don't think you're going to go shopping to the grocery store with your horse.
Don't go on the highway. I agree with that completely. I think the biggest motivation will be our car insurance will be $10 a month, and my brother's car insurance will still be 152.
It might go up. It might go up because
it might go up because he's in the last remaining risk pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When somebody says, I really like to drive and I hate this idea of autonomous driving, and my answer to that is, okay, no, I love to drive too. You like to drive too. But do you love to drive 100% of the time? Do you love to drive more than, let's say, when you've got food and you're hungry and you want to eat it? You wish you could eat it right now, but you won't? That's fine. You text comes in, you love to drive that you will not read that. Thank you. I'm glad you are. But 30% of deaths are people who can't help themselves. A text comes in, they love to drive, but at that moment, they love texting more than they do driving. So they'll look at it, accident occurs. Do you love to drive more than if you're, putting on the makeup because you're late at work? Just for those moments, right? Or you're super, super tired. It's like you're driven 3 hours now. You love to drive. Now that last hour and you're getting super tired and you're sleepy, but you want to get home. Do you wish that this car could drive you home, or do you wish that you could still love to drive and you just do not want the option that for that 1 hour you can turn it on, let it drive you, safer?
Dude, look, maybe this is where I have a blind spot, but I call BS on anybody that says they love to drive. Maybe you love to drive recklessly. I like that too. That's fun. Like fun. I like that fun. Right. But don't tell me you like to drive when you're sitting there obeying the speed limit, going with traffic,
bumper to bumper,
going straight.
In the rain.
Yeah. You're watching paint dries, what you're doing. Like, don't tell me you love that. Like BS. Do you love accelerating quickly? Do you love quick little maneuvers? Yeah, I do too. Like that's fun. But like that's not the same thing. I mean, 6'7",
What the fuck? You're too old to say that, dude. You're like a grandpa. You should not even. 6'7".
Painful.
I love it. No, but I don't buy it when people say that. It's like, all right, if you love to drive so much, why are you always on your phone? Explain that one to me.
Yeah. I tell you, to me, the most beautiful thing with FSD is I don't worry about how tired I am when I fly back into town.
Yeah.
I've got a 50-minute drive to get home. And if I've been in the air for, 6 hours or 12 hours, I know I will get home safely. And it's not because I'm going to fall asleep. It's because the car is going to handle the majority, and all I have to do is keep an eye on it. I can supervise that. I can do without having to worry or plan or load up on coffee on the flight. It just is, the peace of mind is worth it. And I love it.
Can we talk stock real quick? Like, what do you think is happening today?
Which company?
Well, I mean, we can talk Microsoft if you want.
Oh, Brad. Yeah.
We can talk OpenAI.
What is happening? So for those who don't know, we're up $16.74 a share, 3.9%. Why?
And I mean, just to put that into, I guess, perspective, Meta is down 0.5%. Nvidia is down about 1/3%. Palantir's up 2%. Microsoft
Apple's down 0.5%.
2%. Yeah, so it's not like the market is ripping. So it's just, I don't know. I normally when
I mean, that I think that most people are saying the reason why it's up today. I mean, most people, the articles are writing, is because of President Trump's admin said that they are going to look into robotics companies and they're going to give it some love next year. And then not only Tesla stock, but a lot of other robot company suppliers stocks started to skyrocket because of that statement by the Commerce Department.
Do you think any of it has to do with the strong numbers in China?
I don't.
For the
last, that was yesterday, right?
When? What time of day? Was the market open
early? Right?
I don't remember.
Not by this much, I don't think. You know,
fair.
Yeah. But that's an interesting point because Jim Cramer was talking about Tesla this morning.
Oh no!
And he kept saying, "It's not a car company. It is a battery company. Really, it's a robotics company." And so that is interesting. That I didn't know that the administration said that, Herbert. So that explains why he started saying, "Yeah, they're a robotics company." It's like, all right, like you're really leaning to this robotics, which is fine. Like I guess you could say it is. I mean, I just think of them as a AI company. I consider them the only real AI company personally. But yeah, what are you doing? Are you busy? You got other places?
I'm texting and driving. I'm texting while I'm live streaming. I like my text more than I do the live stream. So
don't tell me you love podcasting.
I'm gonna get into an accident right now. You guys are gonna slam me with something.
No, it's actually that was probably just like one of those special subscribers of yours for that special tier that they can call Herbert at 727.
You know, Tony Robbins had that. Tony Robbins, I don't remember what he charged. It was like $1 million a year. You could have his phone number and you could just call him whenever.
Really?
Whatever. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because he's a when you're having a real tough day or something, you need that pick me up.
He's a motivational speaker.
Motivator.
Tony, I can't fall asleep. I can't think about how the next episode of Game of Thrones is going to go.
Why don't we pay him $1 million to talk to these regulators? Change their mindset. It's again, back to the topic. Are you guys still? We saw a number of European countries already starting to turn the leaf a little bit. Do you think that this is just going to continue, or do you think that there will be huge? Remember, just a year ago, the conversations we were having. So many people would say robotaxi will never happen in my lifetime because regulation will just not approve it. That was what they were saying. Will never happen. And now 20 plus cities in the US have agreed to it. You know, you're seeing FSD being approved around the world. China specifically surprised people.
1 out of 5 doctors doesn't recommend toothpaste. So I'm not worried about that. My question
into dentists and it's 1 in 4, dude, but okay.
Okay. Well,
that's for doctors.
Yeah.
Easy.
How disrespectful. I mean, we want to get technical on who is and isn't a doctor, but I did ask Dr. Know-It-All to help me diagram a sentence. He did great. So I would ask Nick, especially, what is the sweet spot for the cost of FSD? I know people have argued it's worth $800, and I would agree. For a commercial application, it absolutely is. At that price, most
8,000,
800, 8,000.
No, 800 a month. Yeah. Well, for a commercial application, why not? I mean, it's still a fraction of a human driver, but at that price, of course, most drivers would not be able to afford it. What is the sweet spot? Is it 100? Is it 50? Is it 200?
I'll tell you. I mean, like I've talked about. I've actually gotten to remember back in the day that guy. What was his name? He's out of Austin. He went from being like a Tesla bear to Tesla bull to Tesla bear again. Omar used to like jump on his streams. Yes, yeah, him. So when he was in his Tesla bull phase, I kind of got into a little debate with him and Omar about this. But here's my take, which is funny because Omar recently posted maybe a few months ago about this concept. I was like, oh, really interesting. But I think that it should be a very big traditional tiered system. So I think everybody should be able to use FSD and be charged on a per mile basis. And then you get a better rate if you purchase it for the month. And you get an even better rate if you purchase it for the year. And I think, look, what's that number? Let the market figure that out, but I think they should have a system where it's like that. But I agree with you, Brian. If you're going to use it for a robo-taxi as a business, that's a whole different rate. And at that point, you can either pay for it outright up front, or you can break it up into monthly payments, and Tesla gets a cut of what you make. You get a cut of what you make. And ideally, because a car, let's say, will last like 5 years, especially if you're using it in that kind of use, you should at least be able to pay it back in 1.5 to 2 years, to where then you're just making profit and you don't have that. Like I would think like something like that, to make it very fair to Tesla, very fair to the individual, and to help democratize the idea of many robotaxis out there. I like that. I think it's simple. Everyone wins. Everyone makes a lot of profit. That's what I would do.
I like the idea. I've got my own proposal. What were you going to say, Brian?
Oh, I was just going to say, we all have our own proposals. I do not have time to share mine because I'm going to take a quick break, because in 9 short minutes-ish, I will be covering a live after show, answering some of the cues from this show with A's. You can grade me B-, be happy with.
You should do?
Yes?
You should have a whole nother YouTube channel that's just for these like 5 minutes when you're on your break, and it's just you in the corner eating like an orange that you pick from that tree.
Why get off camera? It. Just stop talking, and we just watch you.
Just watch me get ready. Yeah, you put me big. You guys are in the little boxes.
Yeah.
So guys, if you enjoy the show, please join me in the after show. As a reminder, this is a co-stream on all 3 channels: Investing Against the Grain, Futuraza, and Brighter with Herbert. I would mention that you are welcome to subscribe to any or all of us. It is a whole lot of fun. And thank you guys. See you in a little bit.
Cheers, my friend.
Just is that your fan? 2 of us.
Is that your fan? Is that my fan?
Yeah. I can hear something in the background.
Oh, no, okay. That's the million construction I have at my house right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, first of all, I love everything you just said. I think that that's a great idea. I was just thinking about the way Tesla thinks, and the way hopefully they're going to carry this forward, which is, if it's something to do with safety, it's an ethical thing for them that they should give this away for free to as many customers as possible. It's part and parcel of a Tesla. It is part of a Tesla. To separate it out based on, well, only if you pay $8,000 do you get this. If you don't pay $8,000, you don't get it. What I think could happen is that this technology can actually reduce the cost of insurance.
Yes. Never mind. Not where I thought you were going to go with this. I was going to say, I could see where, as road taxis get bigger, it can help subsidize the individual using it, where instead of it being $100 a month, it can be $25 a month or whatever, or like, look, we don't get free internet in the car either, right? If you want to watch Netflix, you got to pay a certain amount a year. Like, I think people need,
what I'm saying is this:
you need skin in the game.
It's going to reduce insurance, and so basically, whatever the insurance amount is, that's what you should pay Tesla, which is $100 a month. Like it's basically about $100, $200 a month, and so they will still get money, but it's effectively free. Tesla then starts to charge other things, right? Entertainment packages, premium packages, subscriptions, like you're talking about. If I subscribe, I can go anywhere in any city, and I can have a rental car, I can have a robo-taxi. It's all reduced pricing and so forth. So there's a place to make money, a lot more money than just charging FSD. But I agree with you. Why not charge per ride? Why not charge per month? That I'm not saying that we didn't do that, but it should be something that is available to more people than less, and should not be restricted by price. Should not stop people from adopting this technology. Or maybe there's a version of it that is safe, but not the whole shebang. Like, it won't pick you up, drop you off.
Nah,
agreed. Yeah, it's kind of
we got to cut the cord on that. My thing is, like, I don't like giving it for free. I don't like that method. It's fine if you do like, hey, here's a 1 month trial. Like, yeah, that's fine, right? We know that can work, but I just think that there should be a low bar to entry where people don't have to flesh out $100.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, let me try this for like.
You said let the market decide it, and remember what Elon said before, which is if the market decides this thing, we're going to sell it to you at 8,000 now, but eventually this is going to be 50,000. He didn't say the number 50, but he basically implied that the price is only going to go up because the feature functionality goes up, what you can do with the car goes up, but that is not the strategy.
No, but that's why to me there's two segments. There's the I want to use this as a robo-taxi business, and there's the I just want to use this for my own consumption. Those should be two different models. If you're like, you should be able to buy outright for whatever. So let's say it's 8,000, and you get to use it all you want. But if you want to put into the robo-taxi network, it's going to cost you 20 grand, right? Like something like that. Like there should be a difference. No.
It's got to be a percentage because you don't want to disincentivize people from putting their cars into the robo-taxi. You, in fact, want to incentivize them. It's going to be a percentage of usage. If it's used a lot, you'll make money, but you only get a percentage. I don't think people are going to own it outright anymore. Yeah,
I see what
you're saying. You're not going to own it outright anymore. I think this is
done. Saying the more it's in a network, the more you make. Not just like obviously the more hours it makes, but you get a bigger cut if it's in there more. Yeah, is that what you're saying? So if you only put it in like 3 hours a week, then maybe you'll only get like 35%. But if you put it in for 60 hours a week, well, now you get 55%.
Yeah. I think Tesla, so many people disagree with me on this one. They're going to stop selling cars to consumers outright. You're going to convince you to switch to a leasing, financing, monthly premium that is all in bundle. And if that's the case, then basically you're paying a monthly fee. And if you want to have a car, anytime you want the car, you want to keep your car for a week, you can. You can keep your car for 30 days in your garage if you want, and that's yours, but you're doing it on a monthly basis. If you lend it out to the network, but then you can go fly to any city, you can rent a car there. And this time I want a Cybertruck. When I fly to your place, I want my Roadster, whatever car I want, it's really mine, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think if that happens, it won't be this decade.
This decade is 5 more.
Are we gonna bet on this? I gotta keep track of all my bets.
I only do bets on things that I have huge conviction on. If I don't have a conviction on it, it's just for fun. Sure, coffee bet, but it's not really. I don't have a conviction on this. It's just logical to me, right? That's where we're headed.
All right. If you win, I'll get you whatever coffee you want. If I win, you give me that hoodie, that zip up.
You like this one?
Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
I don't even know where I got it from. That is nice.
Nice little leather tassel.
Yeah. Well, you're looking very closely at this already.
I mean, I'm looking at my.
When do you decide to wear your hat, and when do you decide not to wear the hat? And when is it like forward facing, and when is it backward facing?
Oh. I really don't put any thought into it. I really don't. It's just some days are hat days, some days aren't hat days. Some days are put your hair half up, half down. Some days. The real question is, when am I going to get a proper, not like cutting my hair short, but like a proper long haircut?
What's a long haircut?
Like what your wife would do.
What? Whoa! What are you talking about, dude?
like I have long hair.
Okay,
but I haven't gotten a proper
trim it. Keep it long, but trim it. Okay, well there you go.
I have. So I haven't done that in like 2 years. So
okay. And what's your goal? Grow your hair as long as you can. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. So I
now that you have a kid, shouldn't you keep it short? Easy, easy taking care of it.
Nah. I mean, eventually I'll cut it again. But like last time I grew my hair out, I didn't ever go to a proper barber salon or whatever, just to get it properly shaped and all that. And I just one day I was like, I'm gonna buzz it. And so I just buzzed it.
That's why you have your hat, right? You put your hat backwards and you go. That's what you do it for.
See, well, I'll let you shave. I'll let you shave my head.
I'll shave your head.
Stop
There you
selling cars this decade.
There you go. You can do that to me too. Well, whoever does it. I mean, like, right. And if
when I call you
whoever does it, whoever wins, yeah, it's one of us will shave each other's heads, okay? Because I don't mind. Okay, let's be clear. I'm not saying that they'll stop selling cars to consumers, because they will probably still sell, let's say, the Model S and X. You know, not every car.
What's the bet?
I know. But it's like,
you guys see what I'm dealing with here?
They'll sell the Roadster for sure to individuals. That will always be an individual car. But their mass market vehicles, they will turn into a subscription model. Now, do you call financing? Do you call leasing selling cars to consumers? Right? I think that those will still be on the play.
No, I think leasing is not selling.
Okay. So I think leasing, right. Imagine what they'll do. They'll give you a very low cost lease, very low monthly price, because why? They get the car back 3 years later and they get put into their robotaxi and make $30,000 a year for the rest of the life of that car. Why would they just sell you a car for $7,500 one-time margin and that's it? You get it. Now you'll put it into the system. They get a cut of the robotaxi share, sure. But why wouldn't they just keep it themselves? They'll lease it to you and you'll have it. And like I say, you can subscribe to them and have a car that you own. Like, it's there. It's physically sitting in your garage for 30 days straight, just like you own it.
Honestly, I don't care what they do. I don't know what they're going to do. I just want to be able to call robotaxi here where I live. That's it. Yeah. Like, just get me to that day. Like, I just want that day to get here.
Well, you're Florida. I think it's going to happen, right?
I hope so, man.
Yeah, I think Seattle might be much longer. But again, thank you to Whimo. They're planning to launch here. They say. I think those were just words. I think those are PR. I don't know if they really have a plan. Yeah, it's 2027 or not.
I wish like during the earnings call, someone would just ask like, how long until you guys think that you can actually start scaling at an adequate speed? Like, what's the holdup? Like, can you walk us through it? Is it just a safety thing? Is it like you're building out the Uber software, like you mentioned? Like, help us walk through like when we can actually expect to start seeing, hey, this city at a good cadence. Like, give us the proper roadmap. Like, just give it to, like, you don't even have to give us details. Just tell us what's the roadmap.
You don't think they've shared that? Yeah.
No, I mean, they say, hey, we think multiple cities, whatever. It's like, all right, well, like, what does that mean? Because even then, you talk about like scale and it's like, okay, like if you double the amount of vehicles in Austin, it's like, well, that's not really saying much, So it's like, what's the limiting factor here right now? Like help us understand this. Is it just you're being abundantly cautious, or?
Then they said that already when he said that we basically will do 3 months in every city because of abundance of caution. There'll always be a supervised a person in the car until 3 months later. Then we'll remove it.
But that hasn't been the case though. Like we're not seeing new cities open up. It's right. There's all supposed to be 100 vehicles in us. Like, look, I don't care if like things change, but here's the problem: when you have a company like Tesla where they share so much, and then they become ambiguous about certain parts, it's like. You're almost kind of like, whereas like Apple, they don't share anything. So you just don't have those expectations. You just get what you get and that's it. But you're never sitting there curious, like, hey, I thought you were going to come out with this. Hey, I thought you were going to come out with this. Like, they don't talk about it. But when you give us a little, and I'm so grateful that they tell us as much as they do, at the same time, they kind of have to, because without us, like, we are a real important part of the Tesla business. Yeah. Like, there's just no denying that. But I don't know. I would just like to know, like, what should we expect? I think that's a fair thing to ask. No.
Okay. Thank you
I'm
so
also
much.
selfishly asking this. Like, I'm anxious. I'm impatient.
Don't be impatient. Thank you, Nick. Stick on, and you'll be redirected to Brian's channel right now. Thanks, everybody.